Hello brothers, Xaryu here. Today I wanted to show you how to do the most amount of damage possible as a mage. This is done by using Prismatic Crystal and Splitting Ice Glyph. Although this is the most amount of damage you can do, I wouldn't really recommend it for Arena for two reasons. I'll go over that in a little bit. But let me just show you what it's capable of. So this is a level 100 Druid fully geared, fully blue geared for now. Which is the best gear in the game right now. And so buff up, get your water elemental out. The only requirements for this is that you have splitting ice glyph so that your ice lance will hit the crystal, also hit the target, and then it'll explode from the crystal, hitting the target again with a 10% increase in damage. Obviously you need prismatic crystal, and Canner's flow is optimal for the 20% damage if you can time it correctly. Ice Nova, definitely. This is kind of the same idea as splitting Ice Glyph. Not only is your Ice Nova hitting the crystal, which explodes, it's also going to do AoE damage to the target. So it's going to be hitting the crystal, 10% increased damage, it's going to explode on him, but also, since you're doing damage to the target, it's also doing AoE damage to the target. So it's actually applying Ice Nova twice at a 10% increase. So Ice Nova and Ice Lance are insanely good here. So anything AoE with Prismatic Crystal just doubles the effect. Frozen Orb is also going to be insanely good as it hits the crystal, which explodes for 10% increased damage on the target, and also it's hitting the target. So it's doing double damage with the orb, double damage with Ice Nova, and double damage also with the Ice Lance. So you want to do here is just get your pet out, whatever, buff up. Pretty simple. You want to pop Icy Veins and shrink it. Get your unused trinket up, or your proc trinket up, and make sure Encounters is at 5. Put down the crystal, Nova, double Ice Nova, Orb, and just spam Ice Lance until the target's dead. So in a patch where like you almost do no damage, this is like pretty insane to be able to 100-0 someone. Of course, like anything, there's pros and cons, and I'll go over that in just a sec, but I'll show you again in a minute when my cooldowns come back up. I actually didn't really get the best procs there, didn't get any Frost Firebolt procs, and only got like one Ice Lance proc, and I still pretty much 100-0. Also, it might be slightly better to use Orb beforehand, but I just wanted to show you the pure burst of double Ice Nova without anything else. Yeah, making sure Encounters is at 5 and having both trinkets up is really important. So while we're waiting for cooldowns, I guess I'll go over the major cons of this spec. The first one being the proximity of Prismatic Crystal. So you can only use it if the target is standing still. In other words, the target pretty much has to be stunned if you want it to be effective. Otherwise, you're going to put a crystal down, someone's going to run from it, you're going to be hitting the crystal, and it's going to be doing absolutely nothing. So, you know, you wouldn't really want that effect. So if the person trinkets a stun and gets away, you're pretty much just going to be wasting all your damage. The other major con, which is very overlooked by a lot of people that think Prismatic Crystal is the best 100 talent, is that it's not freezable. In other words, there's no way that Prismatic Crystal can be affected by Shatter, the talent that increases your critical strike. Although this doesn't sound like too big of a deal, it's insane damage loss. So 50% extra crit chance and 1.5 multiplier against frozen targets. So normally when you're going to burst someone, you're going to Pet Nova and then Ice Nova twice so that it crits, which is a lot of damage. And it's going to crit almost every time because of the Shatter talent. However, when you Prismatic Crystal first, there's no way to freeze it. You can't Pet Nova it, because Pet Nova is only on enemies. Blast enemies in 8-yard radius. You can't deep freeze it. There's no way to actually freeze the Prismatic Crystals. There's no way to benefit from Shatter. If you can't benefit from Shatter, you're going to be taking a large damage loss because you're not going to be critting. So that's why a lot of people are going to be just going Comet Storm for the extra consistent pressure, not having to set a Prismatic Crystal, not having to deal with proximity damage, and just going with the more basic damage from Shatter. But having said that, it still is optimal damage, the most amount of damage you can do right now as a mage in 6.0 to use Prismatic Crystal. But in Arena, it's not fully optimal because of the proximity and losing out the Shatter bonus. Alright guys, so here it is again for those of you that missed it. What you want to do is get Incanners to 5 stacks. You also want to proc your equipped trinket, so let's get Incanners up to 5. Let's get our trinket procced. Waiting for it. Waiting for it. I'll tell him to heal up. Waiting for our trinket. Waiting for our trinket. And we're getting trolled. Alright, here's the trinket. We're waiting for 5 stacks of Incanners. Gonna put our crystal down on use, orb, double ice nova. There it is, and then spam ice lance. So you can 100-0 someone in just a couple seconds in 6.0 as a Frost Mage. But like I said, there are some cons to doing this. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked, make sure to go follow my Twitter, my Twitch, and make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Thanks guys, see you next time.